Galot, you have been keeping a close eye on the lines, the wait time, and I understand that just in the last hour or two you spoke with a couple members of the TSA union. What are you learning today?
Yeah, they came out with a really strong message today. We heard from the president of the American Federation of Government Employees, the union that represents TSA workers across the country. We also heard from our local representative here at Hartsfield-Jackson, and the message is the time is now to pay these TSA officers. The national president even calling this a disgrace and an embarrassment. Right now at the airport, the good news for travelers at least is that there's barely a line. Things are moving very smoothly. It's as if it was any other day, but we know earlier today, yesterday and Sunday, that was certainly not the case, with lines snaking throughout baggage claim, even going outside the airport. So that is why airport officials want people to arrive here at least 4 hours early. And something interesting, Zach, you mentioned that on the website we can't even find out what the wait times are. The system essentially does not work. Yesterday, when we spoke to the general manager of the airport, he actually said that essentially the system wasn't really built to track some of these times. There was no way for them to get an accurate gauge. So that's why those numbers weren't up online, because the system was meant to, if the line ends here, know that the line is up to here and how long that would take. But if a line is outside the airport, if a line is in baggage claim, the system doesn't know that. And that's why they decided this is too confusing for passengers, so we're not going to put those times up on the website.
Maybe too confusing for passengers, definitely too confusing for me at times, it feels like, and for others who are monitoring the situation there and thinking about getting on a flight or not. I know they've been seeing at times these gargantuan lines stretching way out to the food halls and elsewhere there, and other times, like right now, Galot, seeing behind you what looks like a pretty easy day to get through, or at least an easy period to get through the checkpoint. Have you gotten a sense of why there's so much oscillation between really busy periods and really pretty easy, breezy periods?
Well, in general, today, is a Tuesday, and a travel expert I spoke to yesterday and both the local union president said Tuesdays are slower days. So even in normal times, a Tuesday would be slower than a Monday and a Sunday, which both the local union president and the travel expert I spoke to said are some of the busiest days at airports. So that could certainly be part of it. Also, when I spoke to a travel expert yesterday, he said midday is generally the best time to fly. Early mornings are really bad and evenings are really bad, so that could also be playing into this as well.
And Galot, I know that you have spoken with some leaders of that TSA union. Those TSA employees have been working without pay since February 14th. We're well over a month into this partial government shutdown. What kind of impact is it having, according to those union leaders, on their union members who still have bills to pay?
Well, one of the most obvious impacts that travelers can certainly see is that people are calling out sick. They're not being paid. Maybe they don't have enough money for gas in their cars, for childcare. So we know some of the latest numbers that we've received from TSA is about 37% of officers here calling out, which is one of the higher numbers for major airports across the country. They also spoke about the impact of the most recent federal shutdown before this one. They were saying, some of the employees had to take out loans perhaps because they weren't getting paid during that shutdown. So not only do they have their normal bills now, but perhaps they still have loans that they still have to pay from the last shutdown. So it's really a compounding issue because that last shutdown was not that long ago.
Our Galot Mhammed live at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, keeping a close eye on those TSA checkpoint times. Galot, thank you very much.